What a feeling, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Misbelieving, ruined, do. I can't have it all now. I'm dearly for the grind.
The
See,
grind.
I got back. I got back to it. Welcome to the Daily Grind. I am your host, Luke Hatmaker, and we're back. It's Tuesday. It's cold. I got Rusty with me. How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. It is good. It's cold here in Memphis, like you said. Still got some snow on the ground. It is thawing out a little bit, just for them to predict more at the end of the month. But that's the end of the month problem. So we're good here in Memphis, all things considered. Even though last night didn't go our way.
Yeah, last night did not go our way. Let's just skedaddle right into it. The Memphis Grizzlies lost, if you watched the game last night, to the Houston Rockets, 118-120, and this was much better viewing experience, I would say, than the last time these two teams played, where it was just like, I feel like last time we really had to fight to be back in this game. This felt like a playoff game.
It did.
And I really, it's much easier to swallow a loss. I mean, I titled the episode "Defeat from the Jaws of Victory" because it felt like we had this one up till the final seconds. And it's just, I can swallow a loss a lot better if it's a hard fought game where, I mean, you almost had every shot you could from your coach to win this thing. Almost. But what are your thoughts? Your initial thoughts? Is that it? Is it what I just said?
So the Grizzlies are now 3-8 against teams that are also top 6 in the Western Conference, and 2 of those wins were against a Nikola Jokic-less Nuggets and a Kyrie Luka-less Dallas Mavericks.
I love that.
Luke, I get it. Like, yeah, this loss is easier to swallow because we play better, but it still sucks. Like losing sucks. I hate
losing
it,
does suck.
especially when. All right, here we go. It is what it is.
Give it
Especially
to me.
when you got a guy like Dylan Brooks who was with Memphis. We made him the scapegoat. We cut him, let him go to Houston, and is now on a better team with a better coach, with a more physical, tough-minded roster, already better than us, and we're playing second fiddle now to the Houston Rockets. Ime Udoka coached his ass off last night, excuse my French, and coached circles around Taylor Jenkins. With 7 minutes to go in the game, 7 minutes to go in the game, we're up 103-95. I took some notes. We're at 103-94 with 7 minutes to go, and we sit Jaren and Ja.
Yep.
Right? Tripp goes back in with 5:57 left in the game, and it's 105-102. Ja comes back at 4:57, and it's 105-104. Like, it was great that Ja played 37 minutes, and Jaren played 34, and Desmond played 30, but it was the wrong 37 minutes. And you can say, oh, you're just being a hater, but, like, if Ime Udoka can figure out that Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green and Cam Whittemore need to sit the start of the fourth quarter and then play the final 10 minutes of it, Taylor Jenkins in year 6 should have that figured out. Like, we had all the momentum, and then you sit 2 of your 3 best players. Like, this man, this Bobby Hill looking mug, thought that a lineup with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of Bane, Wells, Jake LaRavia, Santi Aldama, and Brandon Clark was going to keep us in a game when they had Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, who was unconscious last night.
Good God.
Fred VanVleet, Şengün on the floor, playing their best guys. Like, if you're not seeing it at this point, it's because you're choosing to close your eyes that these goofy lineups that we continue to run out in fourth quarters are losing us basketball games.
I was just waiting for you to start it, because if you look at it's so funny because you're like, oh, the minutes. I had that exact minute breakdown that you had pulled up, because it's like that 2 minutes with John and Jaren both up. That's what killed us. It was a 16-2 run. The game was over then. Yeah.
And I understand they need rest, but why not rest them when the other team is like, if you can't figure it out, and yes, like, wait, no, I get it. Like, turnovers, missed shots, we miss free throws. Like, we also beat ourselves on the floor. Yes, that's a thing. But if Taylor can't figure it out, coach, if you're watching this, do me a favor. When the fourth quarter is starting, I want you to do this. I want you to go whoop, and I want you to look at who the other team has out there. If that's their starters, our starters need to be playing. If their starters are on the bench taking a break, put your starters on the bench. Let them take a break. But the minute you see them come to the scorer's table, you get your guys back up. If you can't figure it out, cheat. Watch off his sheet, right? Like, get off your Waffle House menu and watch what Udoka and these other guys are doing.
It's so funny because you're absolutely it's you look at the minute distribution, you're like, oh yeah, the minutes were right. They were just the wrong minutes. Like no, he played the correct amount of guys. Like he played 8 dudes over 25 minutes. They were just the wrong
at the wrong time.
Yeah, like minutes.
Houston went on a 9-2 run when we pulled John Jaren left the game and Desmond was out there. Like, you got to have your alphas out there. And it's John Jaren's team. Desmond's been great. He was like, Dylan unlocked Desmond with that tech foul, which was amazing to see. Yes. Like, Desmond went on a tear. But, like, I don't understand how you can look at your bench and see John and Jaren sitting there, your best 2 closers and run stoppers sitting beside you while you're watching a team go on a 9-2 run and kill whatever momentum in front of their home crowd, right? Like, I'm not asking John and Jaren to play 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. I'm asking them to play 8 minutes in the fourth quarter, the final 8 minutes. If you really want them to sit, let them sit the first 4 and play the last 8. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, last night was so indicative of just lack of feeling for the game, and Shelby agrees with us.
100%. She's salty, man.
It's like you're doing everything that man, and we like TJ here, but it's like you're doing everything that the math says you should be doing. You're playing the right amount of guys. You're playing them the right amount of minutes, but you have no feel for when those minutes should be played. As evidence, you don't let that 16-2 run doesn't get to 5-2. Mm-hmm. I just think that's like anybody that sees someone on the street pouring blood out of a wound, you're gonna know enough you're not gonna stand there and be like, You're gonna slap a Band-Aid on that screen.
I mean, that's
first.
it, man.
And I just that's sucks.
Yeah. It last night also proves like we need another guy because in the 2 minutes and 55 seconds that Jaren and Ja were out of the game in the third and fourth quarter, Houston outscored us 16-3. Like we need another dude. Like we need another guy that's a bucket guy. And maybe that's Gigi. Maybe that's Cam Johnson. Maybe that's somebody we hadn't thought of. Like DeAndre Hunter, Keegan Murray, like somebody. Like we need a bucket. We need somebody that we can count on to get a bucket there because like you're right. Like anybody with a brain would say, hey, I need a guy that can stop the bleeding. And we didn't have anybody like that last night because they were sitting on the bench. And at this point, like it's time to ask some hard questions. Like Luke, I'm going to ask you this hard question that I'm also going to ask my illustrious co-host on the 2 Buck Sports Show today at noon because we all know his opinions. Do you think, honestly, and I'm not trying to sway you one way or the other, be honest, do you think that Taylor Jenkins is going to be able to figure it out to win playoff series, not just 1, but 3 playoff series in order to compete for an NBA championship?
He is going to have to convince, not with this current roster. No. If we get a certified bucket off the bench, that might be able to make up for his faults that are becoming clearer and clearer in these playoff atmospheres. Like I'd take a whole series of that Rockets game, but it's like I said, I feel very confident for TJ to be to get us through 1 series. 3 series, I don't know because of boneheaded decisions that he made right now. I don't have confidence in the man at this moment for him to do that. Not when you're and I'm not going to bash Jake LaRavia because he played well, but like when that's who you're having to rely on in those minutes, it's like when you essentially Santi was your only bench guy that had a net positive last night. Shut up.
It's right on cue. Man.
Right on cue.
Right on cue about Santi. He wasn't that positive. He wasn't great, but he wasn't awful last night. I don't know, bro. Like I'm glad you have confidence in the guy because like if we play Houston in a playoff series, it's Rockets in 5. It's Rockets in 5, man. They're gonna take our lunch money, hold us upside down, and shake it out of our pockets.
I say confidence in a series. I didn't say confidence. I'm not confident in this series. I'm confident in like in a 3-6 matchup, like a 2-7, where you're playing lesser competition. If you're going to play a team that is on your level, I mean, like this team isn't going to beat the Thunder in a series. This team is not going to beat the Rockets in a series.
We're going to struggle mightily with anybody right now as currently constructed with this head coach and his buffoonery. Because like the reality is like we've been saying, oh, it's October, oh, it's November, oh, it's December. He's going to figure it out. We're going to turn it around. Well, guys, it's January.
Almost February.
And it's almost February. And he ain't turning around yet. And so like I've bookmarked several things last night about people saying when Taylor Jenkins gets us to the NBA Finals, I want you to bookmark this and look at it later. Like, bro, like we're not even going to be close to that as constructed, right? Like we are 4 losses from the 11th seed. And right now, I'm not confident in this 6-game road trip that we've got, or this road trip coming up ahead of us. So we've got to play the Spurs 2 more times. We got the T-Wolves coming up again. Like it. I do want to get to Wayno's comment here in just a second because we got some positive, but I just to tie a bone and man, like it's exhausting. Like I'm so tired of having the same conversations about Taylor Jenkins and his inability to figure out lineups in crunch time, his inability to get the right players on the floor at the right time. Like I'm not asking for John Jaren to play 48, but I'd love for them to play the final 7.
Yeah.
Can we try one time? Can we try just one time and see what happens? Like, that's all I'm asking. And if I'm wrong, I will come on this show, my show, wherever, and say, you know what? I was wrong. We can't win with John Jaren playing the final 7 minutes. But I refuse to believe that that's the case.
For those of us who have really tried to stick there with TJ, last night was extremely deflating because it's like, oh man, last night was a very a blinking light for me personally of like, oh man, you just might not have it because the minutes when you're playing, I was like, but what went wrong? And I was like, everybody played the right amount of. I would have played these same guys, these same minute distributions, but
the number is great.
The number's great, but not when it occurred. And that
exactly.
As someone who loves this team and has been watching TJ for however long, 6 years or 5 years, and last night was just like. Wow. That's how I felt after the game last night because you can take the moral victory like the dudes played hard, but it's like looking way ahead. It's like you asked the question. I'm glad you asked that question because I'm not confident in this man to get us a chip, not to get us through 3 playoff series. I'm
not, especially because like he said, the same coach speak.
God,
plain Jane, I need to reevaluate. It's on me. Like, I could have played the minutes better, called timeout, blah, blah. It's on me. I'll reevaluate. Like, bro, we've been reevaluating for 6 years. 6 years. And I just don't think you can figure it out. Like, at this point, I don't think Taylor Jenkins can figure it out. I don't.
I mean, it's like sooner or later, we're the dumb ones for still listening.
I have firmly planted my flag on this island, and I've been by myself at times, even when things were going great. Like, I ain't leaving because I don't think that Taylor Jenkins can get us over the hump. But enough negativity. There's a lot of negativity in this world. What was great last night was Jalen freaking Wells.
Jalen freaking Wells, baby.
Like, once again, Jalen Green was on another level last night. You got to give credit where credit's due. That dude was amazing. Like, as much as I hated losing that game, I enjoyed watching him hoop last night because buckets were falling. He had a 4-point play in the corner, which we're notorious for giving out at least one a game.
Yep.
And then the way he could get downhill when our guys kept trying to go over the top of screens and he would hit that extra gear. He's an impressive basketball player.
Last night was the kind of game where you want to be like, y'all, if you're a basketball fan, tune into this. And as a Grizzlies fan, I was like, Jalen Green is putting on a clinic.
He hooped.
Yeah, he did. And
as Gigi said, that boy hooping.
And it was awesome. And look, we're talking more praise for the Rockets. Let's look. Like this is.
But Jalen Wells last night was amazing. Like he hit that big 3 in the final 2-3 minutes from the elbow where he just buried it no hesitation. It was a cross court skip pass that he caught in rhythm and put up with Jalen Green in his face. Cam Whitmore, one of them, buried the 3. Big stops down the stretch. He had a couple tap outs and pokeaways from Jalen Green, which Brandon Clark did too. Brandon Clark played some good defense.
Dude, Brandon Clark is making me very upset because it's like we spend so many. You and I, we were like, man, if he's the one guy I'd be okay to see go because of that contract. And now he's playing at defense in the Minnesota game over the weekend was the reason we won that game.
That's it. He taps that ball away from DiVincenzo, and that's why we win that game. But and then the closeout defense on Ant. But Jalen Wells, man, rookies shouldn't be doing what he's doing. I thought about that last night in the third quarter. Jalen was kind of heating up and he was cooking. I think he had Desmond or somebody on him at that point.
Yeah.
And TJ taps Jalen and he gets up and goes to the score table. I'm like, all right, yeah, our dog's coming in. And I'm like, that's a damn rookie. Stepping into a big moment to guard their best player. He's already being called upon to go cut somebody's water off. And TA, talked about, or Wayno talked about TA comparison back a few minutes ago. He is better than TA because he also has an offensive game. TA knew his role and he could get you some layups here and there, but he was a defensive specialist. Jalen Wells is getting it done on the defensive end, getting put on their best player, and then he can go get you a bucket. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the leading rookie scorers in the NBA. Last night he played 30 minutes. He had 14 points, 5 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 4 from 3. That's from a rookie in a playoff atmosphere that was hostile last night. Credit Houston's fans. That arena was rocking.
Shit, yeah. For my language.
Except for halftime, which was funny. Maggie and I were sitting there watching it, and like they had a George Strait cover band playing Amarillo by Morning. And I was like, you know, in Houston, we hear Amarillo by Morning. In Memphis, we got Project Pat.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, this guy's over. He's just like strumming his bass and just like doing this. I'm like, they ain't in Memphis. That's for sure.
Nope.
But like for a rookie to do that in that atmosphere, you know, we're however many games, we're 20 or 40 games into the season, his rookie season. Like, and that's it, man. He's just stoic. He's just so just smooth, man. It's so even keeled. I freaking love Jalen Wells, man.
Well, and I honestly, when he lets that sucker fly, I just assume it's going in most times now. I just assume.
Mm-hmm. I agreed. And I told Maggie last night, you know, we were talking about jerseys, and I've got a bunch of Jaren jerseys and a Ja jersey and stuff. I've never been a huge jersey guy, but there is a new jersey that I will have either by the end of this season or before next year. And that is a number 0 for Jalen freaking Wells. Because I was on him early because I was upset about Zach Edey, that I watched his film. And he's even surpassing, I knew he'd be a minute contributor. I didn't know he'd be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. And it's goofy that they're not putting him at the top of it. And we have got ourselves a certified hooper as a rookie. And it's another testament. Like, he had 4 years of college, just like Zach Edey and some of these other guys. He's a very mature, very smart basketball player.
Des played for 4 years, didn't he?
Des played for 4 years. And so, like, you got these guys that are, like, you know, one and done that are great. Jalen Green didn't even play college. He's just different.
Yeah.
But like some of these mature basketball players, their IQ is through the roof. And that's where Jalen Wells is. He's not the most athletic on the floor. He's not the best shooter, but his IQ is through the roof. And it showed again last night. Sure.
It's like Wendell said, when his body catches up with his brain, in terms of like when he's grown man body, this dude's going to be unstoppable. It's going to be really awesome.
100%. And then we got to talk about the phantom whistles last night. Like, Houston got away with so many. There was a layup that Brandon Clark didn't even touch. Was it Van Fleet or somebody? Like, he goes straight up. Never makes contact with it. It was Jalen Green, and Jalen Green is after he is hit and is falling, kicks Brandon Clark, and that was the only contact on the play. Foul there. Fred Van Fleet jumped into the first row on a Jalen Wells screen that he barely touched him and got the whistle. Like, Ja's lack of whistle is wild, and how tight the whistle is on the other end. Because like, it's like Brevin said on the broadcast last night. Like, if you're going to call some of these ticky-tack driving fouls, that's fine. Do it on the other end. It's only happening on one end, night in and night out. One team continues to get the whistle in big moments, and it was Houston last night. Ja is going to the hoop and getting like a WWE clothesline, and they're not calling anything. And then Van Fleet throws his head back, and just because you throw your head back and go, it's not a foul. Unless you're the Houston Rockets last night, and they got every freaking call down the stretch, man.
Man, is there another team where the whistle that their superstars get like drips down to the rest of the team? Because it does feel like the lack of a whistle for Ja and Jaren just seems to get when they're not getting the call. None of these guys get the call. It's really frustrating.
I mean, Şengün gets a better superstar whistle than Ja Morant. Alfred Şengün gets a better superstar whistle than Ja Morant, and that's just wild to think about.
This is important. I mean, you gotta stop complaining, but it's hard to not complain when they just keep bottling. I mean, it's hard. It's tough to blame these guys.
I mean, you know, I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but like at some point, does Taylor Jenkins not get upset over there? And like, I'd show my ass, man. Like, I know it's a close game and they're going to get a free throw in the ball, but like at some point, like, pardon my language, I would show my tail over there, as my mama would say. And I would be like, I would be pitching a fit at some of these lack of calls and some of these like obvious whistles that are very one way, but instead he's just over there reevaluating, I guess.
Just reevaluating, I guess. I love that. Yes, that's enough about that game. Well, with these next two Spurs games are going to be telling how we play with Wemby. We'll see. I hope Astronum. I'm going to mispronounce. I hope you're not right. He said that we'll be the 7th seed by the end of the week if Edey gets beat by Wemby. I don't want that. I don't think it's going to happen. We're not going to put that out there.
I'm just anyway.
I don't envy these refs in any sport. You know, I'm just realizing that I've got the wrong rundown up here, but that's okay. I would
have tore my quarters up last night. Y'all just saw me coaching in shreds last night after that Van Fleet flop. But anyway, so did you watch any NFL? I did. I watched some of the NFL games this weekend. Yeah, I didn't watch. I kept up with the game last night. Sam Darnold fumbled a bag like I have never seen over the last 2 weeks, man. Like, guy came in, darling, comeback player of the year, going to get a fat contract from Minnesota or somebody. And in the last 2 weeks, he said, you know what? I'm Sam Darnold. Did not do anything playing winning football at all.
Man, it's a real bummer because I was like, I'd like to see the Vikings do some stuff, and it was the only game on last night, and it was just embarrassing.
He scored touchdowns for the other team with that fumble, scoop, and score, and it just wasn't. It wasn't great.
Who doesn't love a fumble, scoop, and score, right?
Love a scoop and score.
None of these, all these games sucked. They were all
except
the Bucks and Commanders game. That was the only game that mattered. I should have just put the Bucks and Commanders recap because I didn't give a crap about any of these games. They were all bad. When your college games are looking to be when the college games are better than the pro games, not great. So we're looking ahead. Who do you got? Got Rams, Eagles, Commanders, Lions, Texans, Chiefs, and the game that I'm most excited for, the Baltimore Bills.
Yeah, I can't wait for that game, man. Like, we got it. Like, Lamar and Josh Allen, they've had 2 phenomenal years, both MVP caliber players. Both defenses are playing well at the right time. Derrick Henry, I love Derrick Henry as a Titans fan. Like, I'm happy to see him not be, because we are the most mismanaged franchise in all of sports. We need to do an entire Titans episode, and you think I'm bad about Taylor Jenkins? Let me talk about the Titans organization for a little while.
We might do that tomorrow. Because I'm going to see if I can get both you and Drew on here. We might have a Homer episode because they are bad. I thought the Bears were awful. Man. Yeah, but you guys were real bad.
So mismanaged, man. You fire your GM to keep your coach. You fire your coach to keep your GM. You fire your GM to keep your coach. It's just a wild 3 or 4 years. But anyway, I'm off tangential this morning. There's a big word.
I love it.
The Ravens Bills I'm excited about. Texans Chiefs, not great.
No,
the Commanders Lions is interesting because the Commanders are a dangerous football team because they shouldn't be here. They have no business being in a divisional playoff round right now with a rookie quarterback, with the losing history and streak that they've had. But nobody tell the Commanders that because they are playing with some swagger and some confidence. They took Tampa Bay's best shot, got a big win.
They had to doink the kick.
Doink it in. Listen, it doesn't. There's no style points, right? It doesn't it's only 2 points because it doinked in. No, that was good. But Jaden Daniels is playing some incredible football. The Lions are the best team in football, and it's not close. But I may be wrong, but I look for that game to be a little bit closer than people think it's going to be.
That game will be good. I miss that game will be. And you know what? We talked earlier, man. There's something to these athletes that play 4 years in college, 4 or 5 years in college, and then they're just good. Who would have thought? I'm excited. We might do some. I might do some. Did you bet on any of these first week?
Yeah, I did. I didn't do super well. In the one that hurt me, the one I got closest on was the Steelers and the Ravens.
Yeah,
I had Derrick Henry scoring twice, which hit. I had George Pickens scoring, which hit. I had Baltimore covering, which hit. I needed 25 rushing yards from Najee Harris, and I was going to win I think it was $600 or something like that. And he had 17. I needed eight more yards from Najee Harris, and I would have freaking hit, man. But when Henry scored that second time, I'm like, cha-ching.
You're salivating.
I am, man. I am. And then I missed on the Broncos. I picked the Broncos to cover. I didn't think they'd win, but I thought Bo Nix was playing good enough for them to cover, and they just got absolutely whipped. And so did not fare very well in the wild card round, but we live to play another day. We'll try to get a divisional round. I'll have something cooked up for you. I'll have something cooked up by the end of the week. By Friday, I'll have something cooked up, and we can talk about it.
Yeah. Love it. Real quick before we take a break, I do want to see this just to take it back to the Grizzlies. I just saw that Wayno is bringing this up. Get Vince and Gigi back soon. Jake and Santi's off the team back. And if the Grizz don't make a trade by the deadline, these crash outs are going to be legendary.
Absolutely.
A team of our starting 5 plus Vince, Gigi, and insert someone you traded for here, Cam Johnson, I don't know, Bruce Brown, insert. That team is much, I don't know, that team is going to, that's a different team than the team that's currently playing, but it won't matter if TJ doesn't do his thing.
I am worried about the regular season Grizz this year. We're not the regular season Grizz of years past. We normally buzzsaw through the regular season, but we're not beating good teams. We have a lot of games coming up against good teams. Ja coming out 2 minutes, we lose the 9-point lead. That sucks. But I also know basic math to where we could stagger Ja and Jaren's minutes when they're out. So you have one of your alpha dogs on the floor at all times in the fourth quarter. Like, that's all I ask, man. Like, stagger, like, or if you need them both out, let them rest the first 3 or 4 minutes of the fourth quarter, and then I'll give you 8 minutes to get momentum back versus less than 5.
The league is too deep. Everybody has at least one guy that is going to be on the court at all times that can get a bucket, and you can't take your guys off. You just can't. But that's enough about sad Grizzly stuff.
I'm sad again.
I know I did too. So we're going to take a break.
I started to hang my Grizzly head upside down this morning and be like, this trouble in Memphis.
Wait, that would have been awesome. We should start messing with our backgrounds. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to talk about happy. Well, maybe not happy. We're going to tube. Tubing can't be sad unless you're watching sad tubes, but we'll discuss that soon, right after this break.
The Grizzlies have 3 bad home losses: Brooklyn, Chicago, and this one. We're too early in the season to have that many bad home losses.
Yeah, and the other thing for me is, I talk about the 10-game sets.
Right.
They're 2-3 in this 10-game set. They were 6-4 in the first one. I said, if you can go 6-4 for an entire year, and then win those 2 games, or at least split those 2 games, it puts you at 49 or 50 wins. And that you can feel good about that. Now you're 2-3, and you don't want to, why you're saying that, for me, is you don't want to have to look back so many times and say, man, what if we would have?
And when you give games away, or don't take games that you feel like you should, you want to make those up somewhere else. And, you just don't want that list to get too long. Well, check off the Chicago one, and then keep going down the list.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Jake has had a great season, all things considered. Jake Arabia in his 3rd season. He's showing the league, the Grizzlies fans, that he is a competent NBA player, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine with just that he's proven that he's an actual player in the NBA, because he was not showing us that for the last couple of years. He's been a very pleasant surprise, and almost a necessary surprise. With guys like Vince Williams out, I just think we as a fan base just have to calm down. We've seen him. He's one of the true build-a-bear projects, like I say, with this organization and with this team, where they take a guy and give him every opportunity to succeed. Opportunities at other teams. Most teams, a guy like Jake Arabia would not have made it to this point. So, like I said, he's gone from being a guy who's looked terrible to a guy who's looked like a competent NBA player. And I'm fine with just kind of stopping it right there.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. And everybody just take a breath. I see the comments. Everybody chill. It's just basketball. It's basketball that we really care about. So maybe just, it'll be okay. Maybe. You can catch that show. You can catch the Anthony Sane Show my brain farted Wednesday and Friday. Yep. I looked at myself and I was like, you know what weeks are? That's at noon. The $2 Sports Show will be live today at noon. I'm actually really excited to see you and Uncle Buck talk today. I'm excited. That'll be Tuesday, Thursdays at noon.
We're going to reevaluate today at lunch.
Reevaluate. I love it. We also have the Grizz 901 Live post-game show that's live during the week. After every game, they'll be back Wednesday. I think Wednesday's the next game. They'll be back there. We got the No Bluffing podcast. We got G5 Classified. There's a lot of stuff over at bluffcitymedia.co. Check it out. But back to our little show. On this show, on the Daily Grind on Tuesdays, we do a little tubing. And you don't know crashing out when you're tubing, because you're just watching TV, and TV is awesome, even if it rots your brain out, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think they've ever proved that. I love TV, and I love the show that I've been tubing and watching, because I told you last week, I watched the first episode, and over the weekend, I finished the entire season of Severance. And good God, man, it hurt my brain. It stressed me out.
Yeah.
I don't know how that came out 2 years ago, and people that hadn't had season 2 yet, I don't understand. I finished it and I was like, I need more content. I was like losing my mind, and so season 2 starts Friday, and so I'm gonna do that this weekend. But man, good show. If you haven't seen Severance, check it out. It's about separating your work mind from your outside mind. It's like when you go to work for 8 hours and your work self doesn't remember anything. It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
How about you?
So Maggie and I have started watching Silo, like I told you last week. Also on Apple TV, and dude, it's great. It's great. Like there's some things like I'm not trying to be that guy, but like I got all the voices this morning. But like it's different than the books, but it's really, really good. Like Common is good in it. The actress is playing Juliet, the main character. She's fine, but like the storyline is great. It's very intriguing. It's very visually like aesthetic, like the way they've done it. Like there's so many times we're both like, oh, that's exactly how I thought it would look. And the storyline is really good. It's a futuristic dystopian society. Check it out. Silo on Apple TV. And if you haven't, read the book series by Hugh Howley. It's awesome. It's really, really good.
Yeah, just get Apple TV, because I've just been, every time I pull up Apple TV and I'm watching Severance, the Silo ads are going. I'm like, man, this looks
so
great.
Good. You need to watch it. It's so good, man. The only thing I tried to watch I love Jason Momoa, and Maggie and I were talking about how like him and Steven Adams would be like best buddies last night. They're like the same person. Yeah, just Steven Adams is about 4 or 5 inches taller, but like I love to hang out. Like I'd love to get a beer. Like you could like name 2 guys you want to get a beer with. Jason Momoa, Steven Adams would be fine. But I tried to watch his show C on Apple TV,
where he can't see.
Everybody's blind in the future except for the one person. Like that's a weird show. Like I made it through about like 4 of the episodes, and I was like, yeah, I don't know about this.
Like, I'm cashing out. Cashing out. I don't think this is for me.
For me.
Hey, that's okay. Man, we're doing this is a voice episode, and I love it. It came out of nowhere. So check out Apple TV, check out Severance, check out Silo, don't check out C. It's weird.
Don't check out C.
Don't check out C. It's weird. That's gonna do it for our show today, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks everybody in the comments. We got some new people. Yeah. I couldn't pronounce your name, Astronomo, whatever it is.
Astronomo, DG, nothing but love for you, man. I appreciate you being here. Let's back and forth about Jenkins. Nothing but love, man.
We love everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Love spending our day with y'all. Everybody stay safe if you're out in this winter weather. If you're out in LA with the fires, please stay safe. We will be back tomorrow when the Grizzlies play the Spurs. So tune in. We'll have Uncle Buck with us. Hopefully, make sure you catch Uncle Buck and Buckets on the 2 Buck Sports Show today at noon. I'm going to want you to check it out. But yeah, have a great day today, y'all. If we can leave you with anything, remember these 2 things. Remember to be a little bit weird, just a little bit, and remember to smile. See y'all. We'll be back tomorrow.